Well, guys, I get it. I finally get it. Look, as the title of this probably spoiled right out the gate, I've been riding the Capcom fanboy train hard for decades. Hell, last time I was in Japan, I made a pilgrimage to the Capcom exhibit in Osaka like it was some kind of holy site. But if we're being brutally honest about my actual dance card with Resident Evil, it is embarrassingly thin. I've only really sunk my teeth into 4 and 4 Remake, both of which I adored so much that I chased a sweet platinum on the remake like my life depended on it. I even knocked out a casual run through Village, but let's call it what it is. Surface level tourism through the series, not a deep commitment. My gaming roots have always leaned towards that arcadey, high-octane vibe. Resident Evil scratched that itch perfectly. Sure, it had some survival horror DNA in there somewhere, limited ammo, resource tension, and the occasional oh shit moment, but at its core, it was action with horror seasoning, Leon being the charismatic badass front and center. The 4 Remake doubled down on that identity while polishing it to a mirror shine. They're their own beasts, really, distinct flavors that don't need to be compared head to head, and honestly, that's a blessing. No forced family reunion required. And then there's Resident Evil 2 Remake, and this is a very good thing, like capital V, very good thing. It hits that sweet spot where Capcom took everything that made the originals legendary, the oppressive atmosphere, the inventory Tetris anxiety, the feeling that every hallway could be your last, and rebuilt it from the ground up without losing the soul. It doesn't just update the graphics, it weaponizes modern tech to make Raccoon City feel alive, rotten, and genuinely terrifying in the ways that the PlayStation 1 version could only dream of in the fog-covered 480p. For someone like me who came in through the action-heavy door, this was a wake-up call. The remake doesn't apologize for being slower, more deliberate, more punishing. It embraces it. And damn if it doesn't make you respect what classic survival horror can still do when it's executed with this level of care. No hand-holding, no over-the-top set pieces every 5 minutes, just tension that builds up until you're rationing shotgun shells like they're your last cigarettes in the apocalypse. So yeah, I get it now. Resident Evil 2 isn't just a good game, it's the one that finally dragged me fully into the franchise's darker, grimier heart. And I'm here for it. What's up, guys? I'm Locus, lifelong gamer, diehard Capcom fanboy, and currently the dude that's low-key worried he's about to turn into a zombie because your mom left me with the mother of all hickeys last night. Yeah, it's kind of glowing like a fresh bite mark from the outbreak. Send help, a vaccine, or a shotgun, preferably all 3. For the OGs who have been riding with me since day 1, I'm sorry. Truly, you know too much. And for the newly infected stumbling into this channel, welcome to the chaos. Smash that like button if you're already regretting clicking, drop a sub if you want some more unhinged survival horror rants, and hit that bell so YouTube notifies you the next time I inevitably trauma dump about inventory management or why Mr. X deserves therapy more than I do. I'll have a platinum review for this game coming out pretty soon after this, so we'll retroactively link it in the cards for those that were interested. And spoilers, it doesn't disappoint. Well, now let's kick things off with the story in this masterpiece. Guys, real talk, Capcom's never been accused of penning Oscar bait plots. They're more virus goes brrr, zombies go nom 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 than real cinematic epics. But the real storytelling here, it's phenomenal. Capcom cranked the tension dial to 11, weaving lore dumps, environmental storytelling, and character beats that hit like Mr. X fisting your little fancy hole without ever preaching or feeling preachy. Most of it unfolds in Raccoon City Police Department, that hulking gothic palace the RPD purchased in 1969. Nice. You step inside and ooh baby, opulent decay on expired steroids. Originally an art museum repurposed into a cop headquarters, flexes that highbrow pedigree real hard. Marble tiled floors etched with intricate patterns, now slick with gore, darkwood paneling scarred by claw marks, brass fixtures dulled under dust and blood, vaulted ceilings with exposed beams looming like Judgment Day, and arched doorways framing every shadow-filled threshold. Lighting has moody chandeliers, dripping elongated shadows that dance with your paranoia, flickering fluorescence buzzing in the bowels like a death rattle. The RE engine alchemizes it all into a Rembrandt painting gone rancid, with every surface whispering, "You are so fucked," before the zombies even shamble in. Guys, gals, this is beyond a backdrop. It is character. Files scattered on desks, spill umbrella dirt, Iron's taxidermy pours lurking corners, that goddess statue in the main hall stares down at you like she's seen your inventory sins. The story breezes through the rot, turning a simple zombie siege into a web of betrayal, experiments gone wrong, and two rookies, that being Leon and Claire, clawing for survival. No cutscene blow, just you, the station's secrets, and that escalating dread that makes every key pickup feel like plot progression. The mise-en-scène in every area explored in this game is done with such deliberate detail the whole time you're thinking to yourself, man, I just want to get the fuck out of here, while still glued to your game. But you don't hole up in RPD forever. RE2 hauls your sorry ass through the rogues gallery of fresh nightmares like the Raccoon Sewers, which is an industrial shitstorm of rusted pipes, belching slime, flickering emergency lights reflecting off oily puddles, G-virus freaks glowing like toxic rave rejects in the Umbrella Nest labs. These spots ooze distinct personality, stitching together from Capcom's pixel-perfect obsession with the little things. Graffiti scrawled walls begging, "Kill me!" Caged corpses mid-melt in the treatment plant, sterile lab counters littered with shattered vials, and half-eaten tech logs that drop umbrella bombshells mid-puzzle. It's that slow amalgamation of grime and detail turning, "Oh cool, look, a new area," into "Fuck this place hates me personally," and lighting seals the coffin. Your wimpy flashlight beam stabbing the void like a desperate prayer, dynamic shadows lunging from every corner, the RE engine cranking god rays and bloom until pitch black tunnels feel alive with ambush potential. No ambient bullshit, it's weaponized contrast, rationing visibility like ammo, and turning every click into a gamble. The plot spins around two rookies dropped into hell. Leon S. Kennedy, the absolute GOAT, fresh-faced cop on his first goddamn day, pulling up to Raccoon City just as the T-virus turns the streets into an all-you-can-eat brain buffet. Classic setup? Oh yeah! Timeless, predictable in the best way, like knowing the chainsaw is gonna rev but jumping anyways. And then there's Claire Redfield, Chris's badass sister, rolling in on a motorcycle hunt for her bro. Look, I'm keeping it 100 with my surface level RE knowledge, RE4 Remake, and a quick village jaunt, and RE5 that I straight up forgot existed until 5 seconds ago. Claire felt a bit supplementary. Leon's out here laying out the groundwork for his one-man Black Ops legend status, dodging lasers and saddlers across the series. Claire, solid campaign, creepy orphanage, detours, Sherry's custody drama that tugs a little less harder than expected, but her arc lands lighter next to Leon. Does she even pop in the mainline sequels? She's got that supporting fire energy, and yeah, her plotline doesn't really carry the same franchise-defining gravitas in my book. Still love playing her, but Leon really owns the spotlight here. All that nitpicking said, why the fuck am I griping about a plot in a Capcom game? It's a zombie sandbox with enough twists, files, and oh shit reveals to keep the dread churning. Fun as hell, zero pretension. Not every video needs to be Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Sometimes you just want Raccoon City to chew you up and spit you out, grinning the whole time. My only real gripe with the storytelling is the avalanche of documents you gotta hunt down like they're the last herb in Raccoon City. Don't get me wrong, files like Marvin's memo or Iron's creepy ass diary drop is killer lore bombs that flesh out Umbrella's sins and the station's museum skeletons, but a novel's worth scattered across every desk, locker, and corpse pocket. Come on, Capcom. Think about it. You're knee-deep in an apocalypse, first of its kind clusterfuck, streets crawling with shamblers, Mr. X turning hallways into a conga line of doom, survival mode max, heart pounding, inventory Tetris on hard, and here you are pausing mid-panic to read a goddamn essay on G-virus side effects and Chief Iron's taxidermy fetish? No! You'd skim the headlines at best, stuff them in your pocket, and get the fuck out. And you'll save that novel for the debrief after you chopper the fuck out of this shithole, post-raccoon therapy reading, "Hey, liquor ambushing, 3, 2, no wait, read this wall of text instead. Look, I get it. Environmental storytelling's Capcom's bread and butter, turning the world into a conspiracy board. But for a guy who's already read enough outside of the games, yeah, shock, despite the drool-catching bib, I can actually read, it's a bit of a buzzkill. Give me voice logs or cutscene teases over forcing my ass to squint at a faded typewriter font while the zombies politely wait their turn. Still minor salt in a near-perfect pot of dread. Fun trumps flawlessness every time. Now, time to dip into the visuals. Why am I excited? This is one of the first games in years I get to cover without unloading my standard Unreal Engine complaints. No bloated tech gripes, no washed out blue slop. Resident Evil 2 Remakes runs on Capcom's RE engine, one of its early big showcases after Resident Evil 7, and the results carry real weight. No garish color shifts or filtered apocalypse haze. Capcom stumbled with some decisions lately, Dragon Dogma 2's launch fiasco being Exhibit A, the MTX backlash, performative woes, and a review bomb Steam score despite solid core design. But building their own engine, that's why Capcom remains elite. Tailored for dread. No reliance on the off-the-shelf tools. Leon and Claire's models hold up sharp. Expressive faces, nailing the rookie terror, gears that wear down convincingly through vents and scrapes. Those pouches? Smart touch. Grab one and it latches right onto the model, your silhouette still bloating with desperation. No detached menu tricks, it is visible baggage mirroring the grind. We've hit the level design before, but it locks in tight with the story. Visuals bait false security, then hit with lurking shadows. RE Engine's God Rays, gore physics, and rot layers make every space a prime kill box. Part of RE2 Remake's charm is that zombie dismemberment system. Pure sadistic poetry. We'll carve into that a little later, but for now, blowing off limbs doesn't just ragdoll parts, it fundamentally warps the models. Legs gone, crawlers hauling ass on stumps, arms shredded, one-handed claw swipes that force new dodge rhythms. It's evolution in reverse. Zombies adapting to your lead rain, turning shamblers into bespoke nightmares. Sound design, it's kinda tough to pin down, which is exactly why it's so functional. I mean, sound effects are great, especially for the guns. But as far as the music goes, no bombastic orchestral swells begging for applause. This isn't a Michael Bay blockbuster. They nail the old jazz wisdom. Music lives in the silence between notes. RE2 masters the void between the chaos. Empty hallways humming with distant trips, your footsteps echoing like a death knell, labored breathing, selling every sprint's toll. Then, a groan rips the quiet. A licker skitters overhead, or the boots thud, 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 and then your guts twist into knots. Anxiety on a leash yanked hard, especially when Mr. X crashes the party. Yeah, this is the perfect spot to rip into him in the gameplay loop proper. Okay, so Mr. X, I think what makes this implementation into this game so brilliant is that at some point, perhaps after killing most of the zombies in the area, you're met with a semblance of familiarity, a little bit of peace and quiet, perhaps comfort. The game perhaps feels so silent to the point where you can hear the silent melody of your soul. And then Mr. X is introduced into the equation. Suddenly, that silence you took for granted, it evaporates with every thud. You are listening ever so closely for his footsteps to figure out if those foreboding thumps are above you, and a few rooms down from you, or in some scenarios, right next to you. And when he does show up, 808 kick sidechain straight to your heartbeat. Bass drop mimicking the onset of a full-blown panic attack, chest tightening before you even turn. From the moment he's introduced into the game, nothing is the same anymore. Brilliant design. Capcom injected paranoia as a core mechanic, turning RPD into a pressure cooker where every step could be your last. And as for Mr. X, the dude radiates negative aura, the best kind. Pure repulsion field. The normal aura types, charismatic magnets, crowds orbiting like moths to a flame. This trenchcoat flasher is Jason Voorhees in a fedora exuding the "stay the fuck away," like most people you see with a fedora, to be completely honest. Spot him looming, you run. No hero shtick, no standoffs, just bolt, reroute, pray those thuds fade. So I'm in the process of writing a philosophy video about the core mechanics of survival horror games because in the last few years I've played a few. It'll be out later, but I'll link it in the cards. But my basic thesis is this. The best survival horror games essentially champion scarcity consciousness. You're not supposed to go into them killing everything that you see. At their best, you have limited ammo, and you have to pick and choose what you use them on. Hell, a lot of the time, you're going to be killing every zombie that you shoot. What I love most about Resident Evil 2's remake scarcity consciousness, you dump a full mag into a zombie's leg, drop it twitching, and then hours later, you're sweating bullets wondering if that was the dumbest mistake you made in your life. Because even ventilated to hell, the fucker may not even be dead, playing possum or just stubborn as shit, drawing its jawless mug and peg leg your way like a broken Roomba from hell. It still exists. That's the hook though. Every encounter demands cold strategy. Waste ammo finishing it, or risk it springing up mid-boss and ruining your run. And resources dwindle harder on elevated difficulties, forcing a visit from the ghost of Christmas past. Heal with that green herb now, or hoard it for the unknown. Snag shotgun shells that may never show. Fresh gunpowder tempts a mix, but the inventory's clogged? Ditch the red herb, even knowing that a green herb is a spitting distance away. And that sacrifice grind, pure genius, turns resource management into a psychological vice. Every slot a moral dilemma, every decision echoing through the apocalypse. Bosses, pulled off sharp. For the most part. Leon's finale, a super tyrant Mr. X, fumbles kinda hard. Endless chase in a claustrophobic cage, no dodge button, which is a fine choice because the Resident Evil 3 Remake jerked that mechanic raw, but the hitboxes, brutal on the player. Run circles all day, still no clear safe bubble. Attacks track like a heat seeker, clipping you mid-evade. To be honest, it's a guessing game from hell. And it's a weird miss too. Capcom's Devil May Cry 5 dropped 2 months later, which is the same RE engine, which was also a friendly rivalry between the crews, flaunts some of the tightest hitboxes in the biz, arguably the tightest, and the development timelines overlapped heavy. They had the tech, and so why is it so sloppy here? The rest of them, I will say it's a chef's kiss. No health bars, pure visual cues, mutations bulging, glows pulsing, weak points screaming, ammo scraping zero, howling. When does this fucker die internally? And when it finally crumples, it's a catharsis explosion. Tension payoffs hit in ways you can't even imagine, especially on something like hardcore mode. So guys, cards on the table. In terms of puzzles, I kind of cheated and used guides. I'll give my quick spiel as to my justification for this. Generally speaking, if you learn the puzzles once and commit them to memory, you're not going to have to go searching for the solutions for them over and over again. So in essence, they get nixed out of the gameplay loop when you go for the replay. I can appreciate the creativity component for them, but I'll be honest, I'm never feeling compelled to indulge in them. No more scrounging around boiler codes or chest plug bullshit when you're gunning for the S+ rank, you know? So with that being said, I'm never going to dock points from a game that implements puzzles. However, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use a guide to get through to the next part of the game I find compelling. But I do feel as though that the puzzles in this are kind of special, being that in the game, for added replay value, you have to do the A campaign and the B campaign for both characters, which kind of gives the campaign even more of a distinct feel going on for it and replay value by extension. But yeah, that's another thing that the game does really well. Claire and Chris don't have the same sort of arsenal. For example, when Leon gets a shotgun, Claire gets a grenade launcher. Leon's pistols are stronger than Claire's, but Claire's got a nice ass, so it all balances in the end, right? So, after surviving Raccoon City's rotten guts twice over, A style and B style, let's cut the bullshit. Resident Evil 2 Remake is a masterclass in dragging yours, or at least my arcadey ass, kicking and screaming into true survival horror. Capcom did more than just polish a classic, they rebuilt it as a tension machine. RPD's opulent tomb, sewer slime pits, Nest's sterile nightmare, all dripping personality that makes you bolt while glued to the screen. Mr. X, paranoia incarnate, visuals and sound, RE engine sorcery, dismemberment that involves threats on the fly, every thud and drip cranking your pulse. Dual campaigns remix past arsenals and puzzles just enough to hook replays without feeling like homework, especially if you're used to guides like me. Leon owns it, Claire holds her own. Bosses mostly deliver cathartic explosions, minus the final hitbox slop. Gripes, file novels, mid-apocalypse, kind of a buzzkill. Super Tyrant Dodgeball, kind of frustrating. Puzzles, let's just say it's a guide life for this chud. But they barely dent the dread high. Fun overrides flaws every single time. I'm giving Resident Evil 2 Remake 9.4 feasts out of 10 famines. A near perfect game that that starved my action prejudices and fed the fanboy fire. If RE4 was a gateway drug, this is the full-on addiction. Smash that like if Mr. X gave you PTSD, sub for more Capcom fanboying, and the plat review is dropping soon, cards linked. Ring the bell so you never miss the next outbreak. And yeah, I finally get it. I finally get it, Racer X. I finally get it.
Lucas, get away from me.
I finally get it.
You're so hot.